We are live. We are doing it. I'm excited. It looks like we're going to have a lot of fun in store for you today. I'm just going to start chit-chatting here until we collect some folks. Super excited. Hanging with Tony.
What's up? What's up?
Just content creator club stuff,
Okay. I like
What
that.
happens?
I like
I'd
that.
like to say what happens in the club stays in the club, but we're live. So
We'll see how it goes today.
we're taking sneak peek to the next level. This is this is super fun for me. I enjoy this, and if you've ever been also the pilot and the host, is the pilot and the host and button pushing and trying to keep your thought clear, which
Yep.
we'll see what happens if you guys see my eyes get big. I'm thinking, or I'm pushing a button. But I'm excited. It is that time. I'll let you roll out, Tony.
Well, welcome in everyone to our content creator event here. We're so excited to have everyone here today. We just want to really, talk about what it is to content create, what it is to be able to, have creative ideas, and be able to push them out. In 2024, Holly, you know this already. Ever since COVID, really, content creation has exploded to another level. There was content creation before, and we had Instagram still. We had TikTok was on the brink of being the biggest platform out there, right? In regards to social media, and we had Facebook, but really, since COVID, podcasting slash, just all the worlds collided in such a way that now you can be so creative in so many different ways. Sometimes people can get lost and say, well, I don't know how to get my idea out there. I don't know how to build this video, get this engagement. How do I get ideas? And so since then, the world has opened up, and now we're in that world, and we want to today help you guys with ideas, help you guys with maybe potential managing opportunities, and maybe you're working on several projects and you're trying to elevate your podcast or elevate your content creation or your reels. And that's what we want to do in this hour. We want to give you guys some basic ideas and potential networking opportunities that you guys can go through. So we're excited. Holly is going to be giving us she's going to be showing us some things as well. I'll be in and out of the conversation with you, Holly. And of course, we want all of you to engage with us. And so there is a chat section. At some point, we'll get to the chat. We'll answer questions and we'll engage with you guys. We'll definitely do a Q&A session at the very end of this where me and Holly will answer questions from you guys directly in that time frame. But again, feel free to chat, talk. Let us know what's going on in the chat section and have some fun. The hour's going to go by very fast, right, Holly?
It is. That was a beautiful beginning, and
Oh,
it was. It was. You just opened up my Pandora's box of my thought process and how I'm going to start. But as you can see, my name is Hollie Wood. I have been called Hollywood since I was born. The doctors were singing "Hooray for Hollywood." My father loves it. I have people say, "Is that your real name?" And sometimes it makes business longer than normal when you're trying to get some work done and pay bills. Is your name really Hollywood? And I'm like, yep,
yeah,
yep.
yeah.
But I also like to tell my students I am also a digital media platform instructor for the Be On Air Network for the Colorado branch. But I've taught some students out of Miami and out of Chicago. Miss my Chicago students. I hope they're here.
Me
And
too.
I
Me
got a lot of
too. I hope they're in here.
I miss them. But having a name Hollywood in thinking about branding and thinking about content creation, I've always had to take my name seriously because my name out of somebody's mouth, and a lot of people remember me. So when it comes to branding and when it comes to content creation in what I create, I like to create stuff now. When you go to, I'm going to say, my Bad Holly page. Now, Hollywood has kind of spilled into a lot of other stuff that I like to do. I like to lead with passion. Content creation, you're leading with your passion, right, Tony?
Right.
Your your basketball, your music. I see you hitting those keys.
Yeah.
But when I was a student at the Colorado Media School, I remember struggling with the technology. I remember having a student in class with me next to me say, notice I was having a hard time turning on the computer, and they wiggled the mouse in front of me, and I felt, oh my God. But I've overcome a lot.
Yeah.
And the reason why I tell that story is because it really doesn't matter what level you're at. If you like to take pictures, you like to create video, and you find yourself doing that, you find yourself scrolling on social media. Well, Tony and I are here to tell you that there's a world for you. And I never really knew that this world was ever going to exist. And it didn't until kind of 2020 hit, where we had that downtime and we were checking out TikTok and, checking out what creators. I remember looking up content creator for the first time on LinkedIn to see how much money they were going to make. And I said, I want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that also, it says a lot. It says a lot. I fell into this path. I was creating stuff just around my passion. I
Yeah.
was creating stuff for my band. I was creating little videos, little behind the scenes, and when my shows were coming up. And then I noticed that I had a knack for it. It's also a really good way to network. You
Mhm.
know, you got power behind the keyboard. So that's one thing I totally. I'll tell you, I have some students when they start and they say, I'm not a big social media fan, and every student that has ever said that to me has turned out to be like one of the strongest content creators,
Yeah.
because you're just taking like your life or your story and all your passions into these little bite-sized tastes, and then trying to see if there's somebody in your audience to engage with you, to give you some feedback, to give you some criticisms. I got a lot of criticisms in the beginning,
Mhm.
but those criticisms and those little pushes here and there and staying down this lane, it helped me find more of me.
Yeah.
So I want to just say hi to Nick Knack there. And how you doing?
Hi, Nick Nack is in the building. Nice,
I
nice.
see you in the chat, Nick Knack.
Illinois Media School. Nice, IMS. And yeah, Holly and myself, and we're gonna get to the first topic here in a second, but I myself am a content creator, and I use that phrase, very subtly, because not only do you content create, but do I content create? Sorry, I do producing roles, a talent, in regards to just different podcasts and different shows and things of that nature. So it can expand, but really the content creation part is what, in my years of experience, especially since COVID, I always use that time frame, because I really started to open up and say, all right, you know what? I don't only have to do things this way. I can actually divide myself and say, all right, maybe I can take a little bit of this with what I'm doing, put that together, and now push that out. And then you'd be surprised at how many things you can come up with, whatever genre you're doing. And so I can totally attest to what you're saying. Like it's one of those things. And in the beginning, it's a rough road. Sometimes you're trying to figure out what you're gonna do, like, and then you don't get the likes that you want or the views that you want. And then you look at your content a little bit after, when you did it, a couple weeks after, you're like, what was I thinking? And so you learn and you grow from it. But there is an audience out there. And with that, I'm going to transition to our first topic. And really, it's diving into what resonates to everybody, what resonates to with the people out there. Because you'll put a video up and then you'll get a viral video and you'll say, oh, okay, so I can tap into this niche. And actually, Holly, right, I'm going to kick it to you in a second, but we just talked about your viral video in one of our meetings today and how that blew up on social media. But audience is important, right? You need to figure out what that niche is. And I'll give my small example briefly here. I was one in the past, I was doing a sports podcast, and many people have sports podcasts. And I love sports. I'm not going to stop doing that. But I started to tap into an individual sport, which is boxing. And I do a podcast with Kendall Gill, who's a former NBA player. I was like, you know what, man, let's just switch this up and just talk directly boxing. And little did I know, the boxing community online is strong because it's not a mainstream sport, right? It's out there, but really online is where you can tap into a niche. And that's what we did. And we were doing videos and numbers were skyrocketing after that. And so you have to look at your audience and you have to really build off of that because they're the ones that are going to be tuning in to your content. And so, Holly, I know you know all about that. Talk about that with us, man.
Your audience is they're going to be the ones to give you the crumbs, right? So those crumbs, those little nuggets of where, like, do they want Q&A with Tilo and his boxing tips, or Tilo, when did you first start boxing? Like when you go and you look at your videos and you go and pay attention to who's paying attention, right? And I kind of want to use the word stalker here just to give you an idea of, like, so if you're on my page, I know it. And there's truth to that, but I want to see who's curious in me, because I want to know about my audience. Yeah. Right. The more you understand your audience, and you're like, oh, this guy's a dentist. What? Cool. I mean I gotta check him out. You'd be surprised on who you're attracting, right? Yep. And like you said, when it comes to boxing, and if that's flourishing, you know what to produce more of, right? But I'll tell you, your audience can also have other likes. You can have a video take off when it comes to content creation, when it comes to, like, my band, my Bad Holly stuff. I can have somebody that's, are you the one that's dancing with the dogs all the time? That started taking off. But really thinking of all your likes and all your passions, right? Tony, all your likes, all your passion, your music. And it just takes one thing for somebody to connect with you that you wouldn't expect. It could be when I had my morning show. I would get up in the morning and I would crack 2 eggs and I would film it just a little short to see if those eggs were over easy or not. Sometimes I broke the yolk. Sometimes when I went to flip it, so I was like, well, I broke the yolk today. This is how it's going to roll. It's scrambled. So it then you would have people connect to that, right? Me getting in my car, being in Denver. Oh, the weather's crazy. Oh my God. Now I have a Denver audience because they're excited that I'm in Denver, restaurants. If I go to a new place for the first time, that is your biggest, like, that's like content creation connect right there. I don't necessarily check in to a restaurant, but I always get a little, and I'll tell you what, Snapchat, because you're not killing your phone. Snap the new restaurant's logo, walking in, you get that yummy plate sitting down in front of you. I also like to then send them a picture and then say, hey, if you ever need any content creation, I'm your girl. Yeah. So I'm networking, but I'm connecting on multiple levels. Now look at me here. I'm tied in with the Be On Air network. Tony, I have some boxing history. Mine was more when the school bell rang, though. good at that. Then the in this corner. I'm telling you what, I'm not going to tell you again. But it's a fun, once you learn that it's really about showing who you are and connecting with people, this stuff like your circle gets smaller.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you, I wake up every morning and I'm connecting to my people, you know, when it comes to content calendars.
Yeah.
I can tell you just off of one post, right? I was cooking and I was making like this chicken pesto. And I did a little video and I thought if I Snapchatted it, and I'm telling you the truth here, I said to my audience, do you want the recipe for chicken pesto? Nothing. Crickets. But if they wanted the recipe to chicken pesto, I would have had like, you know, a week's worth of stuff.
Yeah.
So I stuck with dancing with my dogs that week.
Yeah.
So there's no boundaries there. I mean, there is, but there isn't. There's no boundaries in showing who you are as long as you're your real, true, authentic self and having fun with it.
Yeah. No, it's true, guys, and you know, you just have to. There's always that saying, like you just keep putting it out there, right? And I've heard this over the years too, even before COVID. Like, keep pushing your content, keep pushing your content. The consistency is so key, right? And I've had to deal with my own battles with social media because I had those moments. I still have moments where I'm like, all right, I'm not tapping in like I want it. I'm not getting the views like I want to. But if you stop, you're not going to get any views. You're not going to have the views you want. So you just got to be consistent. And with consistency, Holly, the other thing that we always like to talk about is the planning part of it, right? Because sometimes things happen out of the blue. You're at a restaurant, saw a logo, right? Like you said, boom, there you go. I'm going to create something real quick off of that. And that's a lot of what social media is and that content creation is. But a lot of it's pre-planned. And so, Holly, I know you, with your content, I know you have a lot of things that are planned out. You know, you schedule posts as well for certain things, right? Because you don't only do one thing, right? You being a musician, and you're very funny too, by the way. You are hilarious.
When I when I perform, I'm in multiple bands.
Okay.
Music therapy, and yes, they call me Bad Hollie. You can find that. You look up Bad Hollie, Bad Hollie Wood, you're going to see me everywhere, right? So I've definitely branded that. But there's yes, there's a rhyme and a reason. You will figure out your flow.
Yeah.
But when I have a show, if I book and I'm booked all summer, so what I have to do here now is come up with my schedule. I'll have a nice little Canva flyer going out there attached to my webpage. Everything is connected to my webpage. My webpage connects to all my socials. I need this little revolving door. Another thing that's really, really, really good for this whole recipe, more content creation stuff you can put on your calendar are blogs. Blogs, like here's a little taste of what kind of music we perform. Here's my schedule. Bad Hollie in full effect, right? But you definitely want at least 30 days out, a little advertisement, save the date. And then I don't do too much. I'll resort for stuff back to my webpage and that calendar, because I was a very young, hungry musician and I advertised way too much. So I do just that 30-day save the date, and then I'll go at least a week before, hey, next week Friday, your favorite girl's gonna be rocking City Star, or and that way I keep my audience fed. But I also I got my flow. Snapchat. I Snapchat the day that I start to get ready for my shows, and I think you've seen me in my car. It's usually when I'm in my car,
Yeah.
and I'm in my mental prep. I am a true creative, and I'm not very analytical. If you were to say, Holly, I need A through Z steps, I would just go, homework. You know, I see the pictures, I see the stories, but for me, when I see when I see my audience, when I see what they like, what they don't like,
Yeah.
and being able to see their body language, even when I'm up on stage, you have that opportunity with social media to see what they like, what they don't like, and it's really just it's gonna what works for me is not gonna work for Tony, and
Mhm.
what works for my audience is not gonna work for Tony's audience.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some tips and tricks here and strategies, but ultimately you just have to be brave enough to post and at least start something once a week. Like if you're eating a bowl of cereal every Monday and you just start doing a reel about that, I'm pretty sure you're going to be known as the cereal man. But what I'm trying to get at, honestly, is just not to be afraid and have fun doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, and the planning part, with the whole planning thing, I will tell you, and I'll tell everybody this: if you say you're going to post something on this day at this time, and you have regulars, that is important because I reassure you, even though maybe they may not get on in and on time, like on Friday at 9 o'clock you were posting, and they may not be there at 9, but I promise you they're gonna go check your page to see if you posted. And I know this because I've gotten text messages before, or even just DMs asking, "Hey, where's this video?" or "Hey, where's this at?" And so people pay attention to that. So that's why planning is so important. Holly just mentioned it. You gotta if you at some point, if you're doing just freelance content and all of a sudden it's out of nowhere, it's great. But when you get to that planning stage, just know your audience is waiting. You may not believe it, but they're watching and they're waiting. So just remember that. Just remember that. And I'm
It's
telling
it's a lifestyle. It
you, yeah,
truly is, and I think I say yes to stuff now that I know will be good content.
absolutely.
I'm serious. I'm sorry, that's
Absolutely.
bad content. I can't do that. Sorry, it's a hard no.
Yeah.
But honestly, you're showing the world who you are, right?
Yeah.
Even if it's food you like, food you don't like. Those are some of my favorites too. When people go to the store and try something new and go to take a bite of it, and their face says everything. There's so much. You just have to find you.
Yeah.
Easily said, huh?
You do, and we're gonna move on to platforms in a second. But you made a good point, Holly. I wanted to mention this. One thing everyone has to remember too is that you may start off doing something. It's gonna change. It's gonna evolve, and you will do something different because we're human beings, and yes, we like things in repetitive form. But after a while, you want something new, right? You want something new, you want something fresh. Same thing with content creation. If I'm doing prank stores at the grocery store, yeah, I may have that can last me what 3-4 years. Who knows? But at some point, your audience will tell you without telling you, okay, we've seen this already. Right? We've seen this already, right? And so don't be afraid to make change either, because your content will evolve. It will change, right? Even if it's sports, I'm doing boxing right now. I've already evolved 3 times in 3 years, because at first it was doing episodes, just doing regular episodes for 12 minutes, and it was one camera shot panning back and forth like the Breakfast Club on radio show. And then I was like, you know what, I want individual shots of each person in the studio right there. My it's changing. So now we have individual shots, we're cutting straight to them. Right now with social media, now I'm not only posting on YouTube, now I'm posting 1 minute clips of that episode that was a hot take, posting it and saying, go check the link in the bio, right? You just have to, it's going to evolve the way you do things, and the content will evolve too. And an example I use now is I use a 1 minute reel on Instagram with boxing with a boxing topic, right? That's not even part of the episode. And so it's just going to evolve. So just be ready for change. It's okay. It's healthy. That's my message. Just to make
That was
sure.
a good message. You're right though. You want to teach your audience as well. Like I mean, you're the boxing guru, right? So, if when it comes to like how much time a round is, or what's a technical knockout, which I didn't know what a technical knockout was till just recently. I was like, whoa, cool. All right. Poor guy was just didn't get knocked out, but he was done.
Yeah,
Am I right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Yes. I
So
mean, yeah.
so here, like, so when it comes to like tips and tricks for content creation, right? What Tony and I are telling you is you want to start understanding your audience. Your audience and or I can't even say it. Ultimately, your audience is going to be somebody like you with the same likes, dislikes, and passions. That's where it grows. But you have to show that story. I like to go for long walks, on the weekends. Oh my God, so do I. Oh, where's that? Where's that place? Where are you walking? So really, the first thing I would do, my first tip would be to really get into your socials. If you are a frequent poster, and see where and read through your comments, see if there's a direction there for you to now move into a different direction or start taking their ideas into content form.
Yep. Absolutely. And I'm sorry, Holly, are you going through the tips and tricks at this right now, or was that we're going to do that a little bit later? I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I'm in the right.
Oh, did I skip? I just thought that first one, because we were talking about audience, that's definitely would be one tip.
For sure. No, absolutely, yeah. And I have that list here with you. We're gonna go through that in a second. But before we got to the tips and tricks, because I wanted to make sure. And hey, guys, this happens with content creation. It changes. Don't worry. This stuff happens. But I wanted to go to Holly because you're an expert at this and you do such a good job with content creation tools. We're talking about content creation. We're talking about doing this, going out there, doing that. But really, what platforms are we using and what are we using to edit this stuff? Before I kick it to you, I've used a couple different ones in the past year and a half, just because like things evolve, you learn how to go with that change and find out what really works for you. And so you said Snapchat, which was a shocker to me a couple months back when you said it. I'm like, really? She's using Snapchat. And so I went on and started using Snapchat a little bit, and I kind of see where you were going with it. But really, Holly, talk to us about the platforms and what you use to edit and how easy does it make it for you? Because I know you use some user-friendly editing tools.
I did really start taking a liking to the phone apps for editing. My first one was InShot, and that is not free. I think it was $13 a month for a while, and it's now been drowned out by CapCut. CapCut, you're going to see a lot on TikTok, kind of similarities there. But CapCut is one of my favorites because when it comes to being behind in front of the computer, majority of the time, always editing, when I have a phone editing software and I can just go out and live life and then just capture that. And what I mean by using Snapchat is because I get a lot of content creation jobs. A lot of people that want me to show up to their events and capture special moments. And I remember when I first started really early on using my phone, and then my phone saying, you don't have any memory left. right?
Yeah.
And I hadn't even gotten to the good part yet. So then I find myself like scrambling during a big event as I'm trying to go through what I did capture, what I could get rid of really quick in order to capture something. Where then if I just opened up my Snapchat and I just hit that little bubble and just get a bunch of little clips and then save them, it's not bogging down my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have that opportunity to just get endless clips in a row where, like, think of it as a bunch of little B-rolls, right? A bunch of little B-rolls. You're in short form video. You don't want to go through minutes and minutes of stuff that you've captured. You want to go through seconds because that's what makes you smile.
Yeah.
Because going through seconds of stuff instead of minutes and minutes. I love Snapchat. I love Snapchat even because right now, my kids, that's how they communicate. Everybody, all my kiddos, oh, I saw that on Snapchat, or that's how we communicate back and forth. But it's an untapped source for a lot of older folks and a lot of older businesses that don't understand that that's a huge wave. So if you guys are already like king of the Snapchat, like start sharing your profile. Start you can also take your snaps and you can connect them to your Instagram stories, right? And then you can connect your Instagram stories through Meta to your Facebook. So with one snap, one little snap, you have just posted on 3 platforms. And you're not going, oh my God, I got to post on all these platforms. Wait, oh snap, got it. Poof, done. So there's a lot to these platforms. TikTok is my favorite. And I don't know. I just TikTok holds a special place in my heart, until the whole unlicensed music thing recently. If anybody has had a real popular video that's now playing with no sound, you know what I mean. I'm like, oh my God, do you?
Like, come on, too. Don't worry. I know. Brutal.
CapCut, and I'm glad you like CapCut. CapCut really is. There's so much. There's so much that it can do.
Game changer.
There's so much, and you have freedom. You have you've got all your tools in your back pocket right there, right? Another real fun, one of my favorites is Filmora.
Mm-hmm.
Filmora, I learned pretty shortly after completing my broadcast. You love CapCut? That's right. Filmora is another one-stop shop. It is great. You get on there, you can get license-free music, you can get B-roll, and their transitions and stuff, like especially if you're like music video, if you want like simplicity in making a music video, Wondershare Filmora is exciting. It's exciting. It's not once you go through all the Adobe Cloud process and okay, transitions, effects, sounds, to have one app open in front of you that has everything. It's all I'm going to say is every time that I edit with Filmora, I smile.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So it really is, short form video is where it's at right now. Even if you're doing like, if you're doing, Tony, a podcast that's half hour, you still are going to want to be very mindful of those little bite-sized pieces, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Instagram just recently released a banned hashtag list. So, and you'd be surprised. Went over this hashtag list with my students, and I almost laughed out of my chair because Miley Cyrus was on there. Hashtag Miley Cyrus. Why is that poor girl banned on Instagram? And then there was hashtag Sunday morning. There's some stuff that is kind of going on if you're not in the know, and then you're having a nice little walk on a Sunday morning, listening to Miley Cyrus and hashtagging it, your stuff just got shadow banned.
Yeah.
So that's keeping up.
There's hills and valleys in social media that you're gonna have to get through, right? We'll us as creators, we're gonna create, we're gonna do our best, we're gonna try to follow the rules in place, right? And people push the envelope like crazy, and a lot of those people are the ones that are viral, the ones that have all the followers. But when you are creating, you will have to go through some hills and valleys. It's just part of the game. So I tell you guys, and Holly, I'm sure Holly can attest, don't get discouraged if something gets copyrighted, if something it gets shadow banned, right? Or if the algorithm is not picking up your video. That's happened plenty of times where I got 17 views on TikTok, right? When I had a post that just went viral, like out of nowhere. So it's part of the game. So do not be discouraged. It is there. I want to remind everybody we're going to have a Q&A session in about 10 minutes here. So just stay tight. If you have any questions, as the screen is stating right now, please put them in the chat section. We're going to answer all the questions that we can within our hour time frame here. As we continue to talk about content creation, Hollywood is in the building right over here. My name is Tilo, and we love what we do, as you can tell. We've been, I don't know if you noticed, Holly, we've been smiling the whole time. Like this, I think have you been smiling?
This is the Content Creators Club. This is fun, man. I mean, I'm in. I'm in. Yeah, this stuff. I mean, it is definitely why I plop my feet down every morning, because even to be able to teach this and see that connect with somebody, like, I started making videos of me just going out to the mailbox, like return to sender, and I'm dying, it could be as simple as that. It's just having fun with it. And if you're not having fun with it in your videos, they're gonna know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they are. You can tell. You can tell.
They're gonna know. They're gonna be like,
it's basically as if don't even do it. It's not. You're just wasting your time. But you gotta have fun. Holly, one thing I want to get to before we get to our Q&A section is, again, we've spoke about, what you can create, how you can do it, networking, how big it is, and that networking portion kind of translates to the next portion here, our last topic, monetization. Right? Monetization is something that I think everyone is striving for as a content creator. If you're doing it full time, if you're doing it often, right, you want some type of monetization. And that is basically, if you don't know what that is, it is a way for you to make money, right? And a lot of the platforms do reward creators with money depending on the consistency of their content. And that's really what it is, right? But involved with that too, Holly, is collaborations, right? Branding. Maybe as an example, Chick-fil-A wants to help sponsor because I've been going there every single day and I've been filming every freaking meal that I ate, right? It's just that's a small example, but again, those actions, right, can lead to monetization. And so besides the sponsorship, now the platforms, right, like a Facebook, like an Instagram, like a TikTok, are seeing that. And YouTube, right, as you get monetized, then the algorithm starts to change, and now your videos start popping up in people's feeds more often than not. And so, Holly, all about that. How important is monetization in your eyes when it comes to content creation?
The big deal in my eyes are views. And that's kind of where you want your head just set there for monetization, and take a week at a time, right? If you have a month to hit a monetization goal. And I can tell you, working and keeping track of YouTube, you have to keep track of their monetization. They were running something about, I want to say like 6 months ago, they changed the monetization to you could be monetized at 500 followers. And I was like, what?
It was one state. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, yeah.
They're just trying to, you know, find that quick climber, but now they're back to 1,000, and you never know. It changes constantly, but when it comes to the likes, like not really getting like, oh my god, I didn't get so many likes, but really focus on your views. And when you get into your analytics, your views. How many views are you getting in a week? And write that down, right? Add those up for a month. Are you close to, even if you had, if you were monetized, can you keep it? That's something I started doing, and especially if you're rocking and rolling on TikTok, and if you're rocking and rolling on Instagram, using those shorts and pulling them over if they're 60 seconds or less to YouTube,
Yeah.
because you could crank it there. I've had stuff that has just kind of barely scratched the surface in views in TikTok and in Instagram, crush it on YouTube.
Yeah.
I've had stuff that hasn't done so great on YouTube Shorts that has crushed it on Instagram. So really, what you want to do in when we say be consistent is not put something different on Instagram, something different, you know, on TikTok. You want to take that one video, that one good like weekly 60-second video, and put it on Instagram, put it on YouTube, put it on um, put it on TikTok. And that's kind of how you start to monitor, right?
Yeah.
And then you can really entertain the idea, depending on how you do with monetization. But monetization is a tricky thing because in our ever loving social media world, it changes.
Always, things always changing. And then next year, I'm sure there's going to be a new way of to hashtag, right? We talked about it in the meeting, how hashtags, and this is the last thing we'll talk about before we get to your 5 tips, Holly. You know, or was it 4? Is it 5? These was 5, right?
I am going fiber.
Five tips. But hashtags, right? The hashtag portion is huge because that is where you can lead and help the algorithm itself. But Holly, you said something in our meeting today. What did you? If you could talk about that to our audience, how important hashtagging is in your videos.
It's super important, and there's some depth there, but you want hashtags that are relevant, to your video, to your creation, right? So if I have a video of me running around my Toyota truck until the music's up, see if I can make it to the front door, right? And my post is caption ring around the Toyota truck, right? I'm obviously going to hashtag Toyota truck running around,
Mm-hmm.
right? What's relevant to my video? Running around, Toyota truck. This girl's crazy. I'm just kidding. Out in public, out in public. And really finding a good variety of hashtags that you can like start owning. So you want 3 that are relevant to the video. And then you want 3 that are relevant to you, like Bad Hollie, Bad Hollie Wood, Denver. I used to call myself the media maker girl or media girl. I used to be one of my media girl, Bad Hollie. And that's it.
Yeah.
You want 3 that are relevant to your post and 3 that are relevant to you.
Yeah.
That you can kind of start leading the path. Now, when it comes to if you're posting, consecutively daily, you definitely want to switch up what's relevant to you.
Yeah.
Denver girl, or content creator, and really get a list of keywords. But what's really important is having those 3 that are relevant to your post.
And you mentioned too, I think one time, I think you even told us there's certain words that will halt your content, right? like if you use different hashtags, it may not your video may not get out there like you wanted to. Is there like a site for that, or is that something that you looked up that you can look up as well?
There definitely that you guys, and it's easy to find. You want to look up the band Instagram band hashtag list,
Mhm.
and it grows weekly. That cracked me up. I'm like, oh my god, there's more. But really, what they're trying to do is put a grip on their community guidelines, and I think Instagram is really trying to push a higher level of professionalism and not be known as, the TikTok goofy everything, So that's kind of what I gathered. It did upset a lot of creators. You definitely do not want to use TikTok anything in any of your Instagram. It
Yeah,
will get slowed immediately. Yeah, or those watermarks. Use your content creation club people to ask you for all those tools, and we're right here. Ask away.
absolutely. No, it's very important, and what I would say is, before we get to our Q&A section, like really, guys, you have to with everything that is out there. There's so much out there, right? There's a lot of people posting, right? You're not the only one posting, and so you have to find the niche. And I think with these small tips and making sure you're consistent, consistency and all that stuff, it's very, very important for you guys to look at these things and say, okay, if this is not working this way, let me try a different route. But also, just don't make the same mistakes you made before, and I'm sure you'll see success. And so there's a niche. Don't worry, you will find it. You will find it. You will gather that. And with these tips and tricks that Holly's about to give you guys are gonna be good. Did you like that? Look at that transition, Holly.
That was
Isn't that
good.
beautiful?
That's, I mean, if you want to talk about content creation, your transitions have to be boss.
I'm trying really hard. I hope it's working.
So we talked about knowing your audience. That's it's knowing yourself and what other people are going to connect with you, right? Set clear objectives. Like this week, I want to work on my audience engagement. So I'm going to do maybe a poll. Like, do you want the recipe for my chicken pesto? Right? I'm going to do a poll. Or would you like to see me dance with my dog more? Like, in what I like to do, that if I do a poll, on Tuesday, record myself at least 3 polls. So I have a poll for the next week and the poll for a week out after that. And then I'm setting my sights on a new strategy, like invite campaign, right? Don't forget to like and follow me for more dancing with my dogs. Maybe I will get. Can you imagine if I was on Dancing with the Stars just because of that dancing? Just
I can actually, I can imagine it.
spin a little dog around, bound, right, and then throwing a treat up. But really consistency and if I used to go bonkers on Sundays and film like 5, 6, 7 of them and put them in draft form. So I had something ready to go, but really just come up with a new strategy a week. Research keywords. Keywords. That is the new thing. When you guys think about search engine optimization, whenever I say that in class, can anybody explain to me what search engine optimization is? You should see their faces. They're like, oh. You see it, right?
Yeah.
Don't let that big word scare you. And this is why there's money to be made in what we do, because the research alone and understanding that you have to search Instagram, like when I went back to that running around the Toyota, right? If I go and search Toyota, run around your Toyota, right? red truck runaround, red Toyota, and kind of see what pops up and what value those hashtags have, right? See who you're swimming with. Ultimately, you're going to see what other content's out there as well. Another thing that I like to do too is get on and I like to shop hashtags. It's about as close as I get to shopping. I love shopping hashtags. I like to see what I'm swimming with, right? Especially when it comes to the three that pertain to you, right? Bad Hollie. If I look up Bad Hollie or Bad Hollie Wood, all I see is me. So I know there's not another Bad Hollie out there. And if there is, I want to make sure I have more views than her. So there's really researching your keywords, come up with a plan of attack for your hashtags, content calendar. Have some sort of content calendar. I have a planner. I have a planner that I know that, if I have a show coming up and I open it up and I say, oh, okay, I got to advertise in like 2 days. What's going on? I like to have a good assessment of what content I need and what content I have. That's a big deal because there's nothing worse than sitting down for a project and needing content, right?
Yep.
That's where the Snapchat-a-thon kind of comes in handy. Tell your story. Tell your story. I love to dance with my dogs every Friday when I travel up north to see my family, and they get so happy to see me that we all dance in the kitchen. Experiment. And for all of you who are new and are current students, I remember being very, very intimidated by Adobe, and Wondershare, Filmora cured me of that. Cured me of that. I still love Adobe. I love Adobe Audition. No one can touch it. But there's so many other editing softwares out there that you can still be creative and have fun and just take little bite-sized pieces. So those are my tips.
Yeah. I mean, and they're great. And it's all, like I said, these tips may change in our next one, in our next party here, right? It just may happen. And it's because times are always changing. And you have to go with the flow. But what will exist always is people wanting more content, because at the end of the day, Holly, you know that this is what people are doing all day.
It is. Yeah. Even like safety first, right?
Yeah.
It's true. I like to think of, and I tell my students, I say, I'm every year, I'm working towards my Super Bowl. And I think the content creator Super Bowl is Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, right? So you start now, you start implementing one little strategy each week, and you're keeping that content stored on Snapchat. When you get to the Super Bowl of social media, you have content that you can repurpose, and you also have little bits and pieces of what happened throughout your year that are at your disposal too.
Yeah.
And that's something I learned the hard way when I started working doing social media full time. Is there that question, what are you going to do for New Year's? And I was like, oh. So I've been in the game long enough where I know if I'm even doing social media for me, or even your boxing highlights, or your podcast highlights, there's stuff that we play for, and there's times when I miss National Pizza Day, and I'm like, oh, I can't miss that next year. So there's tons of stuff out there that you can create content for, but just have fun doing it.
I agree 100,000%. Holidays are important in content creation, so please be ready when the holidays come around. No matter what genre of content you're creating, holidays are holidays, and they're going to be there. So you're not lying, Holly.
I'm not Super Bowl.
There you go.
Everyone's on their phone then because they're with their family.
Oh yeah, well yeah, and they're looking to see what other families were doing. It's just this is how it works, how the world works. We want to give
your audience
exactly. We want to give a chance for the audience to ask some questions in our Q&A sections here now. And do we have any questions in the chat, Holly? What we got? What we have here?
I think you got some go Tonys. You got some fans in the house. You know, whoop, whoop there.
Oh, let's see
right?
what's going on. What we got going on here?
There is if there isn't, there is something I'd like to show if anybody is pretty avid when it comes to content creation and on their socials. There's something called Collie that I was just introduced to, I want to say really less than 2 months ago. And Tony, let me know if I'm presenting here.
Let's see.
I'm gonna go back and just want to make sure.
And in the meantime, while Holly's pulling that up, if you guys have questions or comments, please put them in the chat. We'll definitely get to them here in 1 second. We want to make sure we answer any questions or any comments that you guys have.
Oh, here it comes.
There we go. Yeah.
Nice. So this is Collie. You're going to see here there's 41 jobs. I've applied for 3. Every Saturday I sit down with my yummy cup of tea and I apply for some of these jobs. I have 4 active right now and I've completed 5. This is so exciting. Here you're going to see all these jobs. When you first apply to Collie, they're going to ask you if you're a professional photographer. If you are a professional photographer, you also have to show your website. If you're not a professional photographer, they're going to go off of your social media analytics in your demographics to give you jobs. Here you're going to see my social metrics here. Which has TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and then there's some miscellaneous stuff here. But this is exciting stuff. You're going to see there's product. You're also going to see that there's paid and there's product. I'm going to go to, let's find a fun one. Now if I go, I want to see. Am I still sharing my screen, Tony?
Yeah, you're good. Yep.
Okay. Can you see the Brooks running champs?
Yes.
Okay. So here's a brief when you go to apply to one of these. Now, you're looking at what we do. They're looking for 2 vertical videos that are 45 seconds, right? You're going to hear about the brand. They're going to tell you, usually they'll tell you about their brand statement and what they're looking for. And then you scroll down here, you're going to see what possible compensation that you're going to make for 2 45-second videos. And that'll make you smile, right? It's a pretty good chunk for 45 minutes. So Collie, Cohley, definitely something if you guys are wanting to go this route, it's definitely worth your while. So I'm going to go back now. But Collie's it's a heavy hitter. I get a lot of jobs for my dancing dogs. I'm going to tell you the truth. They get more jobs than me. But I wanted to leave you with something to venture off and sink your teeth into. Or else, what am I here for?
We definitely got to put that in the chat for them. That'd be cool.
Yes, I'll do that.
We do that. Let's see. What do we have? Any other questions? I'm looking at the chat section here. Derek says something here. So his message isn't loading. Do you see what Derek said? I don't know why mine's not stating.
Derek, do you need a portfolio?
Okay, yeah, I saw it.
Correct. You will build your portfolio, and all it does is it'll pull from your videos from socials. You have a really good, you have very high quality on your socials. This will, it'll be a real fun route for you. The thing you want to start with is just doing the jobs that have product. And I'm going to show you one more thing because I just figured out how to do it.
Yeah, good.
and thought I was doing it before, but nope. I want this. Now look at this. This is what I thought I was asking you, Tony, if you saw. So when you go to apply to a brief, right, you're going to see about, like about that
Oh,
particular brand, what they want. And then here, duration between 0 and 45 seconds. They want 2 of those.
okay.
They're asking you to use music, use upbeat music from the commercial library that is royalty free. Then you're going to see how much you're going to get paid. Do you see that?
Yeah. Compensation.
That's a nice chunk for 2 45-second videos. So it's something that you guys can start building now, and really that makes you feel good. I get free product all the time, but start with the free stuff. Start with the free stuff so you don't feel overwhelmed, and then you're gonna start getting the paid. There's, I think the lowest is like 250, but you're gonna get a variety of photographs too, vertical, horizontal photographs. But check Coley out, especially if you know you're already on the socials hard and you post regularly. This is a really good avenue for you. I dig it.
I like it. I like it. Hopefully, you guys, if you use it, it's successful for you, and it'll hopefully streamline some things for you guys. Because I know that again, content creation is not the easiest thing to do, but hopefully, you guys got some tips and tricks. You're able to hear some of our stories and how we do it, and there's plenty more that we can talk about. And hopefully, we'll have another version of this for our content creators club. But we really thank all of you for being with us. We're excited. Like I said, me and I don't even have to ask you, Holly. We love what we do. We love what we do. Like it's it's not work for us. So when you're doing this and you're creating that content, have that same mindset. And stay positive. It's not going to be easy. You will have those hills and valleys, as I mentioned. You may not get the views right away. It may take a while for you. It may be quick. But don't stop. The consistency is key. And again, we're going to be here for you guys with anything that we can provide help wise. And of course, you guys can always hit us up. A lot of you do have our information in order to contact us. But if you do want to reach out, there's different ways to do so. I know Linda was in the call earlier. Linda, are you here with us still?
I am. Hi, everybody.
I'm you.
Yeah. Oh, I'm muted. Am I muted?
No, we can hear you.
Okay, wait. I just have to say it was so much fun to listen to the two of you. You did a great job. A lot of tricks and tips and all that great stuff. So to the content creators, cheers, because it's really all about the content creators. That's what we're looking to grow. And this meeting will be happening regularly on Mondays. So please join us, join on campus, be a part of this, because we love for everybody to create content, especially monetize that content. So thank you. Both of you were fabulous. I'm here just for a quick second because I really want to share that next Monday, March 25th, the Be On Air Forum is going to return, and part 2 of Canva is really the essence of what we're going to be talking about. So we're going to level up the part 1 of Canva. You can find that on YouTube from last week. And if you want to review that and then join us next week and level up what you're doing, everybody uses Canva in one way, shape, or form. And we want to invite you to join us and to become proficient in it and make it a tool in your tool belt, because everyone makes a difference. So again, thank you. And to both of you, thank you. And if you want for everybody who's on tonight. If you want to drop a comment in, please feel free to do that. And, stay tuned to Be On Air. This is brought to you by the Be On Air Network of Media Schools, which includes Ohio Media School, Illinois Media School, Colorado Media School, and Miami Media School. We're happy to have you here. Like and subscribe and join with us. Okay, it's yours. Good night.
Good night, Linda. And also on Holly, real quick before we do leave, are we doing a small announcement about the contest?
Let's do it. So our Real Dream contest, we had a bunch of entries, but not every entry submitted a video. So we are going to extend this particular contest for another week. So the new deadline will be March 25th at 9 a.m. For some of you, I sent out a email. So you have my direct information. If you are here on with us live and you're wondering, did I win? I don't know if we got your video. So please check your email. There is a next step in that email. And what I'm going to do for all of you right now is I'm going to put my email in. So the Real Dreams, let me pop that up. So, we can see if it'll let me go to window here.
Renell Jr. says she was so lovely.
Tilo,
Right?
you're supposed to talk when I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'm reading comments right now. They're talking about.
You're doing pretty good. Let me pull this up because now here it is. Yay! So let me know when you're seeing it. I'm just bouncing back and forth here until I just had it.
You're welcome, Nick Nack, with another comment. Thank you for tuning
Yay,
in.
Nick Nack. I might have to load it. Let me see. But I'm gonna just cancel this now. And I'm gonna get better at this. You just wait.
Take your time, Holly. It's okay.
You can tell I got my. Oh, here we go! Yay! Here it is. Can you see it?
There you go. Yep.
So this we unveiled last week, and we got a ton of submissions to the point that I was sending emails all weekend. Please remember to attach your MP4. So Real Dreams, unveiling your dream media career in 60 seconds. So this is a video storytelling contest. There are 3 prizes, one for first, second, and third. First place, a face tracking tripod. Those are hysterically fun to use. They're great, especially if you don't have anyone there to film you and you need a buddy. I love my little 360 camera mount. You're also going to see a lavalier for your iPhone or iPad, and depending on the winner, what phone you have, we will adapt. And then you're going to see for third prize is a selfie stick. And I like to say this would be fun in a huge mosh pit crowd if you're a music person. Contest rules. You must include a creative title. You must include a music bed and sound effect. Must include a unique hook. Must include a strong call to action. Must be shot in vertical format. Must include B-roll, minimum of 4 scenes and transitions. Must be 60 seconds in length, hard cut. And now must be submitted by the 25th. You're going to see, don't look at March 18th. It's 25th at 9 a.m. And we will be updating this on socials. So I'm going to keep that up. So new deadline. And if you guys need, that's right, new deadline, March 25th. And I'm going to put my email in chat. Feel free If you're curious about any of the softwares we talked about and you want to get more in depth, if you all of a sudden have this huge thirst for Coley, we're here to help. We're just, we want to help our content creation club buddies. So I am super, super glad that you are all here and hanging out and thirsty for more knowledge.
Absolutely. Be ready. One more week. Get that content out. Get those videos out. Get those reels out. We want to see it. We can't wait to announce the winner next week when we get through all the videos. So we're excited. Hollie, it was an honor and pleasure doing this with you, as always.
Tilo, blast. A content buddy.
Much love from Chicago out there to Denver, okay? All right, guys. Everyone have a great night. We thank you so much for coming on. Have a great night.